Niggles. You know what I mean. We get them all the time. You're just about to walk out the door and you get a niggle that says, "Take your umbrella." Well, I got a niggle just over 2 years ago, and my niggle said, "Move back to Canada." There was just one problem with that. I was living in New Zealand, and I had been since 1988. It was my home. I mean, in 1993, I started my business there, doing coaching and workshops on leadership and listening to your intuition. So I knew what niggles were. And I didn't want to move back to Canada. I mean, leave all of my friends, my colleagues, my community. I mean, even just thinking about it, I could hardly breathe. And besides, I mean, I'm in my 50s. And moving to a new country means starting up my business all over again. But that niggle wouldn't leave me alone. It was like this droning lawnmower in the background of my mind. Move back to Canada. Move back to Canada. And I kept hoping that somebody would maybe pull the plug on the message, on the lawnmower. I didn't want that message. So this one time I went to see an energy healer. He was doing Reiki. And I didn't tell him anything about me. At the end of the session, I was putting on my sweater to leave when he said, "Oh, just one more thing." And I don't know if it was the tone of his voice or what, but my whole body just froze. And then he said, "You are going to be moving back to Canada." You know, I don't remember how I got home that day. I do remember, though, standing on the back deck of my home that I loved, and I'm looking out over my garden and all of the trees that I'd planted by hand and that I had watched grow, all of the flower beds I'd placed and the vegetables I tended to every day. And I realized I was terrified. And I breathed deeply into my fear, and I had another thought. I am going to die one day, and I don't know when that one day is going to be. How do I want to live my life between this moment now and that moment? And I closed my eyes, and I knew. And I breathed out a long sigh, and I said, "Yes, I'm moving back." May 2017, I arrived here in Canada for the first time to live in 29 years. I bought a truck camper. I published 2 books. I traveled for 12 months from coast to coast. I have made so many friends, business colleagues, and networks, all because I said yes to a niggle.